Hi everyone, hope you've had a great week. I'm going to try something a little bit different for the month of May because it's May right now. And my plan is I'm going to see if I can use Pinterest and possibly even TikTok. Even though I've not had a TikTok account, I'm going to open one up and I'm just going to see if I make some videos and some pins, whether or not that will drive any traffic through to my KDP books and amount in any sales. So this is a bit of an experiment for this month to see how we go. So in terms of creating pins for this little bit of an experiment, or TikTok videos for this experiment, that's what I'm going to go through with you today. So let's jump on the computer and I will show you how I'm going to do that. Rightio, let's get started on making a Pinterest pin. And I'm going to make one for a colouring in book that I made. It's called Geo Floral Patterns. I'm back across on Canva and I'm going to type in Pinterest. And here are a whole bunch of Pinterest pins. So I'm probably going to choose this one and customize that template. Now I'll just upload the cover file, this one here. This is what the cover looks like. I don't need the whole thing. So I really just need the cover like so. I could do a mock-up, but I don't think I will bother with that. I'm just going to get rid of that one, turn that on its side. So let me see, here we go. Colouring book. Did that not go in there? Hang on a second, I had that there. Control V. Oh, there it is. That was my blog post. And then I want this to have a nice same sort of colours here. So when you do have an image inside anything that you're doing within Canva, when you go across to photo colours, it'll actually give you a little bit of a picker there, so you can pick things that might fit in with that. So there's nothing there that I like that one, but it's probably a bit, so I might go that one. And then if you pick a colour and you come up here, you can kind of move it if you want something a little bit lighter, so I can go a little lighter that way, which I like. Down here I'm going to choose the darker one again. I'm going to make the writing white and I'm going to increase the size of that. So this is going to have a link to my, where this book is for sale on Amazon. Get it right. So a floral pattern colouring book. So I might even just copy that, paste it, and a floral pattern colouring book. So I'm just going to make this a static. From what I mean by static, I'm going to keep this one just as a pin that's just a picture with a link. And I'm also going to make one for a different colouring in book tomorrow, and I'm going to use a video. So I might even show you how I go about doing that. But for this video, I'm just doing a static one. By static, I mean it's just going to be as it is. However, you can animate a little bit. So if I do click on here, I can get it to do things like pan or rise. So even though it's not a video as such, I can manipulate images in there to do something that's a little bit more visually pleasing, I guess, when somebody was to click on there. So there you go, that's a drift one. That's not bad. So I might go drift there. Move this one down a little bit. I wouldn't mind if these kind of pop as well, so I don't know if you can do animates on those. Hang on a minute, I think you can. I might just get that to pop. I'll get that to pop. Maybe I'll get this to pop because it doesn't quite look. There we go. Pop, pop, pop. And the other thing that I really wanted to do was to add a couple of pages in there from there. So I'm just going to go back to my uploads. I think these are down here a little bit further. Here we go. So these are some of the patterns that are in the book. So even if I just put them over here, and I can position them. So up here you can go to position, sorry, I'm jumping across, and go to layers. So you can arrange here. There's a whole lot of things you can do here, moving things backwards and forwards. So you can either go that way and go backwards. I often go to layers because then you can just click and you can just drag these around. So you'll notice when I click and drag that, it goes in behind. So I tend to go to the layers panel here, unless I specifically want to do something else. So what's another good one out of here? I mean, they're all good. How about that one? Okay, this one. So if I go like that, maybe pop that one in, I'll go to position and layer that in underneath. Oops, hang on, I'm going to put it in between those two. And maybe one more. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, maybe that one. This isn't what's in the book, by the way. When I created my colouring book, I did actually enlarge it. So if you enlarge them up, you'll be able to see that they're quite intricate in design. But I didn't make it so that it was impossible. It's actually quite a challenging colouring book that I made, just for the pure fact that actually what I might do is I'll do what I did for the book. So the pages are actually really quite large, and then I'm going to use these to cut in, so whoever's looking at this can get a little bit of a feel for what those pages might look like a little bit better. So just want to make it a little bit clearer with just a bit of a snapshot of what that potentially is like. And then I can move that position down as well. So where do I put that one? Nope, I want to go there. But I also want it to be, let me see, that's got to be up. Maybe I do have to put it, so I want it underneath that. Maybe I'll move that one down. Anyway, it's a bit hard because I want that to be in front as well. And this one here, if you double click on it, an image, then you can resize it and it will still keep the square there, but I'll just make it a bit bigger. So it's making it a little bit easier for anyone looking at this post to see what's going on there. This one doesn't look right here. I'm going to use that thing to turn it around a little bit. And maybe just put it down like that. Okay, and then I'm going to animate these as well. Why not? Let's make everything pop. Pop, 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 pop. There we go. Right, so there's a static post. So I made that up pretty quickly, just all original, using the template that was there. Got the links to my blog, even though I know it's not entirely correctly working, it's okay. I might take out the HTTPS, I don't think you need that. Makes it look a bit ugly. There we go, that's better. So what I will do now is I will save that. So share, download. It's an MP4 video because it has got those animated features that are in there. And I'm going to download that to my downloads folder. So I'm going to let that do its thing, and while it's downloading, I'm going to pop across to Pinterest. So this is the Pinterest. Don't have a lot here. Like I said, I'm going to trial on this site, Creating with Ali, putting up some pins and seeing whether or not I might be able to direct a little traffic going back that way, as I mentioned before. So here's my KDP video. If you've subscribed to the channel, you might have seen that. I'll pop this up. It's only had 5 views. New account doesn't get pushed, so let's come up here. What do I need to do? Create pin, organic. There we go. So I want to choose a file. So I'm just going. I might name this one up and call this one Geofloral Coloring Book. Pinterest. Open that. Okay, good. So that's done. Now edit the cover. So I don't want it just to be a pink like that, so I might choose the last one. There we go. And then if somebody does play it, they get that. That's much better. So you can edit the cover, and it will, like it showed you there, there's a timeline. You get to pick what you would like to have on your pin. So I'm just going to go done there. I'm going to call this Geofloral, let's call it Adult Colouring Book. Geofloral Patterns. So 26 Geofloral Designs. Geofloral Designs with a hint of, no, not with a hint of, 26 Geofloral Designs featured in this colouring book. Challenge yourself to some intricate colouring. Some intricate colouring, that'll do. I need to get better at doing that. So the link itself, I'll have to go to Amazon. So let's have a look. So Amazon Australia, yeah. I'm just going to type in Geofloral Colouring Book. There it is. So I'll click on that. Now it has got a very, very long URL. So copy. So I'm going to pop into another site that's called Bitly. And this will shorten, so get started for free. No, and now it wants me to sign in. Another thing, that just give away the world. Hang on a second, I'll see if I can find one that's free online. I don't want to log into anything. Here we go. All right, so I'll go paste that in there, shorten it, copy. And then I can pop that, oops, sorry, into my Pinterest. I can choose a board to put it in. I think I've got one called KDP. And tags, let's have a look. So we'll go colouring, adult colouring pages, colouring pages, floral, just generally, craft, what have we got in here, paper crafts, craft fair, really. I think they'll do. More options. Yep. So I think that we're going to just post this and see what happens. So it's either going to, hopefully that link will work. I'll check it in a minute. And yeah, we'll publish that. Publishing is complete, so let's go back to this one. Refresh. There it is. Pin. So we'll check back at this a little bit later and just see whether or not we've had any views, and I guess time will tell whether or not this equates to any sort of traffic that would go through to Amazon itself. So I've got the month. So I'm going to try and do this with a lot of my books over the weekend and try and put a bit more up here on Pinterest and see whether or not that is going to equate to some sales. So maybe this month I might focus on Pinterest, and I'll see how I go with TikTok. I don't know if I've got a lot of time. Since then, I did a little bit of research and found that I need to do a little bit more with my Pinterest account in order for those pins to perhaps be seen a little bit more easily by people who are using Pinterest search engine. So before I go ahead and do that, I just wanted to scroll down. This is the pin that you saw me make, and already we've got some 16 people have seen it. We can have a look at some analytics, and I do have another one here which is interesting. So I just wanted to go across and show you. So if I go into the business hub, because I've set this Pinterest page up as a business hub, and this will give you an idea of what has happened since I put that pin up, and that was just last night. So I filmed it last night, now the next morning. So just in that short amount of time, this particular pin has had 17 impressions. It has had 2 pin clicks, so people have actually clicked to go to the site, and one person has saved it onto one of their boards. So that's not bad, considering that I have done absolutely nothing else to set this up properly, and already I'm seeing that it is getting some acknowledgement and some sites. This one here with the KDP, the first kind of video that I did in this area, had 22 impressions. But at the moment, those 2 things are only sitting here on their own. There's no boards or anything like that. So, all right, so at the moment, these are the pins that I've created. And right next to this, you'll see saved. So if I click on saved, this takes you to my Pinterest page. And these are the boards that I have at the moment. So here we are back at the home feed. I can see my boards here at the top that I can flick through. And then we have all of these suggestions that have been put in place based on the things that I'm interested in. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a search here and just see what might be available for adult colouring books. Obviously, if you've got your pages set up to try and drive traffic to the books that you're trying to sell, I wouldn't choose pins that might be taking away from that, so to speak. So it might be things about, you know, the tools that you use for colouring books to purchase, that kind of thing. So I don't know. So this one here, I could save that. I actually used some of these pencils. They're not too bad. So I might save that. I know it's an Officeworks one. Now for some of these things that I'm choosing, for instance, these gel pens, if I had an Amazon affiliate account, I could set up an ad. So I could come back and rejig these a little bit later. But I just want to add in, and then when I go back and I have a look at my board, the saved ones that I have, I now have got a colouring in book one, and these pins initially are those from other people, but then I can add my pins into here, so I can organise those pins across so that they are inside that board. So if this board gets shown to anyone to have a look at, my pin can be included within that, and that person could potentially click on my pin. How do I go about that? Let's have a look. So here, I don't want this in my KDP one, so I'm going to move this one into the other board that I made around colouring books. So if I hit organise, and then I come down here and I choose this, this button down here says move, and then I can move that pin to a different board, colouring books and ideas for my board, and then there it is. So it's in that mix. So it's more likely that if someone chooses or goes into my board at all, that this is going to feature within that board. So it may increase the likelihood of someone clicking on it. So this is something that I didn't do when I was setting it up last night, but I think will be very important. I guess the biggest thing here is having a look or having a think about what you're going to name those boards, but also putting the pins that you want into the board that aren't going to take away from any potential earnings that you might make, or promoting somebody else's work, I guess. But for now, I'm pretty happy with where that's sitting, and I can keep adding to this because there's a lot of these things I'd actually go in and have a look. So I need to add white highlights. I don't know how to do that. So part of my job, I guess, today is to go back through and just check the boards that I have. So I can have colouring books. I might have tools that I use. I might do one for scrapbooking, pattern papers, journaling. I might make a journal board. So I'm going to go ahead and make those boards now and have a think about what I want to call them. And then when I make my pins later, a bit related to the books that I've done, then that might be a great place to pop them in. So I need to go ahead and create some boards. So to create a board over here, there's a plus sign at Pinterest, and you want to create a new board. I want to journaling ideas. Okay, so that might be one board. No, I want to done that one, and then I want to go back. Not putting anything in there for the moment, and then I'll make another one that's called art equipment. I like. Alright, this is going to be my process, so I might come back and show you a little bit later as to how far I've gotten along with that. Time is one of those things that's really quite difficult when you're working in this space, because there is so much to learn, and I haven't really utilized Pinterest in this way. So again, I had to go in and learn how to do that, create my account with Pinterest and get that started. So that's been interesting doing that, and most people got a Pinterest account. If you haven't, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can show you how to go about that if that's something you're wanting to have a look into. If you'd also like to know a little bit more about how to use Canva, let me know. If you have any questions, pop those in the comments as well. So it's kind of like a waiting game now. I'm going to continue making pins just like I did now for other books that I do have up on KDP, and make pins for Pinterest and see, like I said, see how that goes. And in the meantime, try and smash out a few more books over this weekend so that I can keep continuing to add to the titles that I currently have in KDP. If you're enjoying this video, make sure to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos, and I will catch you in the next video. See you then. Bye.